Down here in the mines, where I belong. The youngins yearn for the mines. I'm not that young. But I'm digging out a 23 by 23 by 9 space. Well, maybe a bit bigger actually, so that I can fit a full-size tier 6 blood altar in here eventually. So that's pretty big. I think I'm just gonna do the whole chunk. So then it's 31 by 31 by maybe let's do 15. Alright, dug out a nice big cube for my blood altar. It looks really bad. This needs a lot of decoration, but yeah, I'll get to that when I get to that, I guess. By the way, this Emerald Shuriken, it is the Terra Firma perk that's healing me, and I think also restoring my hunger, which is insane. This has solved food and health, pretty much. I mean, it's not fast, but it's infinite. I just need to hold this. It's free. That's crazy. Anyway, back to blood magic. Let's make a digital mob agonizer. This will allow me to make blood without having to do any self-sacrifice. And it's pretty cheap and easy to make. Some thaumium, some LV stuff, some sooty marble, red alloy cable, and a demonic will. Really not bad at all. I'm also going to need to make the altar linker after that, which also looks pretty fine. This is what's used to link the agonizer to the altar, so I'm going to need that. And once I have that, I'll also get my Fangarum or Orium or Ilium gem and turn it into a weak blood orb. Okay, let's see how this thing works. I have my advanced combustion gen GPS'd with diesel, leading into an MV energy converter, which will lead to a digital mob agonizer on top here. It starts to fill up, that's good. I have my zombie data model, which I'm going to put in here. The quality and type of data model determines how much blood you get. And this one is pretty okay. There's better ones, but they're all the boss ones. This one is the best one that I have at the moment. And now I just need to link the altar to the mob agonizer. And I shift right click this, and then I shift right click this. And now it's linked. And it starts producing blood. It's pretty slow, but I can time accelerate this, of course. And this starts to fill up with life essence, which is great. As you can see, it's currently emptying itself. That is normal because, how do I explain it? I remember there was like there's two separate tanks in the blood altar. There's the main buffer and there's the IO buffer. So I think what's happening now is it's filling the IO buffer, and then after that's filled, the main tank will fill. And I'm pretty sure the IO buffer is like 1,000 millibuckets or something, so this will fill up eventually. As for the gems, they've turned into gem crystal clusters. These will start sparkling when they're ready, so they're definitely not ready yet. In the meantime, I might do a little bit of Thaumcraft. I might look into this caster's gauntlet, because it also gates infusion. And I know I'm going to need infusion eventually, pretty soon actually, for the nightmare chicken. So I guess I'll do a bit of Thaumcraft while I wait for this stuff to grow. So if you're watching this and every time I do Thaumcraft you notice that there's no wand slot, that's because in Thaumcraft 6, I think this is Thaumcraft 6, there's a caster's gauntlet instead of wands. So I'm going to make some V resonators with which I can make a caster's gauntlet. I'm pretty sure this thing has many uses. A lot of them overlap with what the wands used to be used for in Thaumcraft 4, like turning on infusions and stuff like that. Now I'm going to get to doing some research so I can get infusion unlocked. And I'll also maybe read the Thaumonomicon for anything new that I don't already know about. Because there are differences in this mod pack, or in this version of Thaumcraft. Where is my Thaumonomicon anyway? I did also learn that the gems revert if you don't harvest them fast enough. You have a good amount of time to do it, but it says here, if left unharvested at their final stage, after some time they will revert to a previous growth stage and continue the cycle, allowing for a different choice of gem type. So the type of gem this turns into is kind of random. It depends on the time of day where the actual random number check happens. So that's why I've made 3 of them. Eventually I'll be able to get all 3 types of gems. I don't know if I need to, or I don't know if I need more than one. I probably do. But right now I just need any of them. So I'm gonna hang out kind of close to the spot and keep checking to see if it's ready. And then I'll just harvest it when it is. Alright, this one's sparkling. What do we get? Fangarum gem. That makes sense. It had the white sparkles. And for the other two, I imagine it's orange and blue sparkles. So I'm just going to not harvest these unless they are one of those. Well, actually, I'm about to consume this to make the blood orb, so I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, sick. Never mind. I can just replace the one I'm about to use. Cool. Nice quest reward. Easy game. Okay, so this goes into my blood altar directly, and it should immediately make my blood orb. This thing is full as well. Cool. Here's my blood orb. Gonna bind it to myself. This gets me some runes and some blood apples. But more importantly, I can now use an alchemy table. So I'm gonna craft this thing up. It needs a brewing stand. There's two ways to make a brewing stand. This one is obviously much better, so I will do it this way. I'll be back with my alchemy table. I'm gonna put this right here. And at long last, I can finally make a simple power catalyst. At least I think I can. I don't know if the weak blood orb is powerful enough, actually. Let's try it. It might not be. And if it's not, then I'm gonna have to upgrade the blood orb. But let's see. So redstone, netherwort, and gunpowder. Yep, it would not be that easy. Okay, so I need to get the next tier of blood orb, which is the apprentice blood orb. And I'm pretty sure this one works. This needs a tier 2 blood altar, which is actually very easy to make, and an eye of redstone, which is also pretty easy to make. Luckily, the tier 2 blood altar is as simple as adding 8 runes around the edges like this. And this should be tier 2. I should probably make like a little staircase, just for now. Obviously, this is not going to stay, but this should be a tier 2 blood altar. All right, let's try this out. Yep, seems to be working. Gonna speed this up, of course. And cool, apprentice blood orb. Gonna bind it. Yep, and now it works. Cool. Yeah, the weak blood orb is pretty weak. Also, I did not know this was something you could automate now. This is different. Can I speed this up? Do I have to speed up? Which one do I have to speed up? I think it's the one on the left. Yeah, I think the one on the left is the actual block. And this one's kind of fake. Anyway, got my simple power catalysts. With this, I can make unstable mana at long last, which I can finally use to make my mana pearl, which is the last thing I need for celestial gateways. My god, what a tangent. This was like a 2-episode tangent. That's insane. Okay, to make the unstable mana, I do need ethanol, which is proving to be a little more complex to get than I thought. I am definitely not getting it from wood vinegar. Look at this ratio, 100 to 1. That's terrible. I thought about doing fermented biomass or biomass, and actually the biomass is better than the fermented biomass, which is a bit weird to me. First of all, it's faster for the same amount of input. You need to multiply this by 10, of course, so it's 3 seconds compared to 7.5. But you also get 4 times the ethanol output. So biomass into ethanol is actually better than fermented biomass into ethanol, which is weird. That said, that's only in the single block distillery. In the distillation tower, I can see the argument for fermented biomass because you get so much other stuff as well. But I'm just after the ethanol, so I'm going to make a little bit of biomass, probably by hand in a brewing machine, which I need to craft. And then once I actually have like a ton of stainless steel to spend on distillation towers and such, then I'll think about doing this in a more proper, like, passive generation way. And here is the unstable mana. Oh my god, 3 minutes. Nice. And I got my mana pearl. I made an extra one so I wouldn't have any leftover unstable mana. Oh, finally. Celestial Gateway. This is great. I'm actually gonna set this up not in my astral area because I think I'm gonna be using this quite a bit, and climbing up this mountain is a bit of a pain. Well, that said, I could make travel anchors now, so maybe not. But I think I still want to put it in my central tower here. Not totally sure, but I think this central square is the perfect size for a celestial gateway. Let's see, here's the structure. Yep, it works. This thing is super, super cool. I need to name these, actually, in an anvil. Oops. So I'm going to name one of these Spaceship, and I'm going to name one of these Nova, probably. Can I do it in a tool forge? No, unlucky. Alright, I do need a genuine anvil. This one is going to be Nova. And this one is going to be Spaceship. So the Nova one is obviously going to go right here. And for the Spaceship one, we'll come back to that when I actually have a spaceship. But this is super cool. The sky goes dark. I might get rid of these fur pillars or something. But basically when I have more celestial gateways in other dimensions, I can look at a star. They'll have a name on it if it's the right one. And then I hold shift and then I teleport to it. It's pretty awesome actually. But cool. That's really cool that this is like perfectly slotted in. This was not planned at all. Well, now that that distraction is done, I think it's time to do some HV progression. I'm going to make a bunch of circuits, I'm going to make a bunch of components, and then I'll make the machines as I need them to make the spaceship. So I'll also start with the holo projector. This should be pretty easy to make. I see that it needs mana glass, which is actually very easy to make. Not quite as easy as the usual throwing glass into a mana pool, but this needs structural glass and unstable mana, which I have now. And structural glass is tempered glass plus steel plate, and tempered glass is glass plus oxygen. Just a few steps. So I think I finally figured out why my hunger was also being healed, so to speak. It's because the Emerald Shuriken has Elemental, and Elemental applies a random potion effect. I think it's always a good potion effect, but I could be wrong. But it applies a random effect to you every time you hit a target. Or maybe it's every time you throw the shuriken. But a few seconds ago, I just had saturation for like 5 seconds, and it just boosted me all the way up to full. This thing is a hack. Anyway, I'm here to make some infinity reagent. Never mind, I don't have enough obsidian dust. I'm going to quickly craft up these 3 chickens: apatite, fluorine, and concrete. The fluorine one, by the way, needs a morphic resonator, which needs rare earths, which I can get in an autoclave from rare earths. It does have to be an MV autoclave though. Rare earth, by the way, you can get from redstone. You can centrifuge purified piles of redstone dust for an 11% chance of rare earth. And I have a couple. Oh yeah, we got some chickens. The only one left on my chicken list at the moment is the nightmare chicken, and this does need infusion, and more importantly, it needs double compressed infinity dust blocks, which are a little expensive because they need grains of infinity, which I get from killing mobs that were spawned with infinity dust. That's kind of painful. It is possible to automate. There's even a quest that kind of shows you how to do it or tells you how to do it, but it's still kind of gonna suck, to be honest. I might just grind this out by hand because I don't think I need the grains for anything. Well, I don't know. Can I make these from nightmares? I might just need to make these forever, which is kind of crazy because there's only one way to make them as far as I can tell. I do need it for liquid nightmares. This is the normal, quote-unquote, way to make liquid nightmares. But there's also the nightmare enriched egg, which is, you know, the chicken. That was why I wanted this originally, but now I'm noticing that I might still need grains of infinity anyway. So maybe I don't really need the nightmare chicken just yet, and maybe I should focus on setting up automated grains of infinity. God, there's so much to do. It's great. But my focus will remain applied energistics because batch crafting is fine. I can live with it. Logistics pipes are also fine. I can live with these, but I need me some applied energistics to really shine. I think my progress is going to exponentially just skyrocket once I have some proper AE2 set up. I'm going to work on gathering a bunch of stuff to make these circuits and HV components. I think I said this already. And we will get through the entirety of HV in the next episode. Maybe. See you next time.